Hello students, welcome to today's English class. I am Roopna Ravindran, Assistant Professor of English, Government Degree College, Chevalla. So today I am going to discuss the poem Television written by Roald Dahl. Roald Dahl was a British novelist, short story writer, fighter pilot and screenwriter. He was born in 1916 and he died on 23rd November 1990. So he is a very famous British writer and also very popular writer for writing children's literature. He actually avoided university education and he joined on an expedition to Newfoundland. He enlisted in the Royal Air Force when the Second World War broke out. He wrote about his exciting adventures that he had in Royal Air Force, and these write-ups were published by the Saturday Evening Post. Dahl's first book, that was written for Walt Disney in 1943, was not a very successful attempt. It was not that popular, but he achieved popularity and he became the best-selling author with the writing Someone Like You. That was in 1953. Dahl turned primarily to children's literature thereafter, and his works had a darkly comic nature. Most important writings to list are James and the Giant Peach, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, the BFG, the Twits, and George's Marvelous Medicine. His adult works include Tales of the Unexpected. His autobiography is Boy Tales of Childhood and it was published in 1984. So here you are given a simple and very readable poem, that is Television, and it is very popular poem also. The poem advises and inspires children to read books rather than watching television. So it is a very relevant topic that he has chosen, and this poem also has a comic tone. But it takes an inherent serious look at the issues that are bothering many young minds today. So TV robs our minds. We don't realize that it is altering our brains, our power of imagination and also our creativity. So here in this slide you can find the beginning of the poem. The poem begins like this: the most important thing we have learned so far as children are concerned is never let them near your television set. Or better still, just don't install the idiotic thing at all. We know that TV is called the idiotic thing, that is the idiot box. Okay, so the poet advises from his experience that we should never allow children to go near TV because it has a kind of addicting influence or a kind of negative influence on young minds. In almost every house that he has visited, he has watched children staring at the screen. In almost every house we have been, we have watched them gaping on the screen, gaping at the screen. They loll and slop and lounge about and stare until their eyes pop up. Last week in someone's place, we saw a dozen eyeballs on the floor. On the floor. So kids don't realize that their time are passing away when they watch TV. So they slouch lazily and they don't even maintain good posture. They stare at the TV until their eyes are too tired and they are not any further able to watch the television. So this poet is exaggeratedly mentioning that he has seen dozens of eyeballs at someone's house recently. So we can only see the eyeballs. We don't even realize they are kids because they are stationed. They are not active. They are not moving. They are still at one place. They sit and stare and stare and sit until they are hypnotized by it, until they are absolutely drunk with all that shocking, ghastly junk. So they just sit as if they are being hypnotized by the TV. So when the children are in front of the television set, they don't realize that they are living. They become stationed, they become still, and they don't seem to be moving from there. They forget about the real world that is surrounding them. They forget about the umpteen games that they can go and engage in, but they are just stuck there in front of the TV. They are almost hypnotized by this idiotic box. They look like they are drunk, absolutely drunk. Not their body is drunk, but their minds are filled with those shocking, ghastly junk. No useful thing is there in their mind. They are all junk that is fed into their mind, which is actually inappropriate for kids. Those TV shows kill their valuable time and make them lazy, and they don't find any interest in playing and exercising. They don't have any scope at all for spending time with books and nature and also interacting with others. Their minds are filled with the images and stories of the virtual world. They are presented with cartoons and videos and all those things. So they don't have the power of imagining things. They never fight or kick or punch. They leave you free to cook the lunch and wash the dishes in the sink. But did you ever stop to think, to wonder just exactly what this does to the beloved dot? So if you leave them before TV and engage in your household work, then you can do it for as long as possible, because they won't disturb you at all. They'll get stuck before the TV. He knows that, the poet knows that the television keeps the naughty children calm. When these kids sit in front of the TV, they don't do any mischievous things. They don't climb on the wall, they don't climb on windows, and we don't see them fighting, kicking, punching and all. They let their parents do whatever work they want. A mother is free to cook the lunch. She can go and wash the dishes. Father can engage in any work. Father can wash the dishes. He can engage in any work that he wants. But these kids will not come out and disturb them. But that can't be an excuse to let them sit before a TV, because we need to be thinking about the status of their minds. Poet thinks that this TV, that is the idiotic thing, does more harm than good. Did you ever stop to think, to wonder just exactly what this does to your beloved dog? So this poet asks the parents whether they ever spent a moment to think what exactly is television doing to their loving child. So TV damages the sense in their head. Children are drawn away from reality. They are not at all bothered about the real world which is surrounded, and they just believe what they watch in TV. So it kills the power of their imagination, and their mind is set in some world which is created by the TV. It clogs and clutters up the mind. It makes a child so dull and blind. The poet continues to tell about the negative effects of TV on a child's mind. Children watch different shows on different channels. Sometimes there are contradictory ideas, and they are expressed by different channels, but these children do not have the capacity to select what is right and what is wrong. So these things will clog and clutter the minds of children. Children forget to think on their own. Their entire mind is full of images that they see concretely on the TV, and they don't have any mind to imagine, to think about the beautiful things that are in the world. He can no longer understand a fantasy, a fairy land. So children can no longer understand a fantasy or a fairy tale. They can't extend their imaginary power at the actual level at which the kids have to think. They are just stuck before the virtual reality. His brain becomes as soft as cheese. His power of thinking rust and freeze. He cannot think, he only sees. So his brain is becoming soft like cheese. It doesn't have any ability to identify things, and it doesn't have any ability to understand things. Children believe everything that they watch or hear on the TV. And they cannot find any logical connection between things. They are not able to interpret things. So the power of thinking is lost. Their thought process is frozen, and their brain is getting rusty. They cannot think on their own, and whatever they are doing all the time is just getting stuck before the TV, watching whatever is presented to them. All right, you will cry. All right, you will say, but if we take the set away, what shall we do to entertain our darling children? Please explain. So that is the worry of the parents. If you take away the TV set from our kids, then what shall we do to them? How shall we entertain them? So poet says that he knows what the parents would ask him. The question is how parents shall entertain their affectionate children if they take away the TV set from them. For that also the poet has some solution. We'll answer this by asking you what you used to do earlier. What use the darling ones to do? How use they keep themselves contented before this monster was invented? Have you forgotten? Don't you know? So he asked the parents. Erstwhile, people used to read lot of books. So what did they do earlier? Earlier, this monster was not there in our lives. So then we used to spend time worthwhile. We used to do more productive things. We'll say it very loud and slow. They used to read and then proceed to read some more. Great Scott, gadzooks, one half their lives was reading books. The poet reminds the parents that earlier, during the earlier times, children used to read a lot of books, and their whole life was spent reading books. They used to read lot of books, and to show that kind of astonishment, surprise, he is using this expression, great Scott, gadzooks. It is an expression of surprise. The nursery shelves held books galore. Books cluttered up the nursery floor, and in the bedroom by the bed, more books were waiting to be read. So in those days, we could find books everywhere. Even in nursery schools, there used to be a lot of books everywhere. Even in the bedroom, you can find books cluttered up. Such wondrous, fine, fantastic tales of dragons, gypsies, queens, and whales, what not you can find in books. Everything was there, described in a very interesting way. and that used to give a lot of exercise to the brain. They kids during that time used to think a lot, they used to imagine things, and they used to relate themselves to the stories that are described in the books. And treasure isles and distant shores, when smugglers rowed with muffled oars, and pirates wearing purple pants, and sailing ships, and elephants, and cannibals crouching round the pot, steering away at something hot. It smells so good. What can it be? Good gracious, it is Penelope. Here, the poet talks about all the popular characters and all the popular images that were there in many of the books that children used to read during that time. So, in those days, kids used to read fantastic stories of dragons, gypsies, queens, whales, pirates, cannibals, elephants, etc. etc. They used to enjoy those stories. Oh, books, what books they used to know, those children living long ago. So please, oh please, we beg, we pray, go throw your TV set away, and in its place you can install a lovely bookshelf on the wall. Then fill the shelves with lot of books, ignoring all the dirty looks. So the kids may be apprehensive, they will not support if you throw away the television set from your home, but then slowly they will get adjusted, they will come to you, they will like the lovely bookshelf. If you fill the shelves with lot of book, and if you distance themselves from the TV, then slowly the children will certainly come to you. In the beginning they might hit you with sticks, and children hitting you with sticks, fear not, because we promise you that in about a week or two of having nothing else to do, they'll now begin to feel the need of having something to read. And once they start, oh boy, you watch the slowly growing joy. So they may be reluctant in the beginning, and they may turn violent also, hitting the parents. So if they start hitting also, you don't fear, you have to face the situation boldly, so that slowly in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks they may slowly come to you, and they may feel the need of reading then. And once they start reading, they will certainly enjoy it. That fills their heart. They'll grow so keen, they'll wonder what they had ever seen in that ridiculous machine, that nauseating, foul, unclean, repulsive television screen. And later, each and every kid will love you more for what you have done. So you don't have to be afraid at all. So once you start throwing the television screen from your home, then the kids will certainly come to you. They will definitely come to you, and they'll be keen on reading books. But this will be a slow process. But the first step is for you have to discard the television set. And once they start reading, they'll slowly enjoy it, because that is the only way ahead of them. They are totally distanced from the television set, and they will definitely find the books interesting. They will find interest in reading more and more books. And this will boost their thoughts, and this will boost their imagination as well. So slowly they will gain knowledge and wisdom, and you can find the satisfaction, the joy in their face. So they will realize that they have wasted a lot of time sitting before that disgusting, idiotic television screen, and they have made their mind unclean. But they will start cleaning their mind, they will start cleaning their brain with more interesting stuff and more knowledgeable things. So finally, every kid will love the parent. Every kid will love his or her own parents for giving them an opportunity to find real joy through reading books. So even when they would grow up, they would definitely thank their parents for taking the television set away from them and installing a book in their place. So the poet is very much particular about reading, and he advises only reading for kids. He thinks that television can never replace a book, or it can never replace be a substitute for reading habit. Books are the only things that can deliver real wisdom. That is according to the poet Roald Dahl. So thank you students for listening.